Destiny 3. Is it a thing? Will it become a thing if it's not a thing yet? When would it become a thing if it is indeed a thing or will become a thing? This is the latest question that I've been asked a lot by all of you, so let's talk about it. It is natural to wonder if Bungie will end up doing a Destiny 3. After all, we have Destiny 2 right now after 3 years of Destiny 1. And we're just under halfway through year 6 of Destiny, so one could reasonably assume that Destiny 3 might be around the corner. I'm here to say that I think it is pretty unlikely that we see a Destiny 3 this coming September. I think it's unlikely we see it the year after that, and I'd say that there's a good chance we don't even see it at all. I'll explain. Destiny 1 was released not only on PS4 and Xbox One, but also PS3 and Xbox 360, which were towards the end of their lifespans. Approximately 90% of the player base was on PS4 and Xbox One around the time that Rise of Iron, the second expansion, was coming out. Not only that, but the power of the PS3 and 360 were just not enough to handle Rise of Iron, to the point where they would have to take features away for Rise of Iron to even work on consoles. I bring this up because the next generation of consoles is coming, holiday 2020 as of now. These consoles are obviously better than PS4, Xbox One, and their Pro variants. So it's reasonable to come to the conclusion that with a new generation of hardware coming out, that it would be a good time to launch something like a Destiny 3, an updated version of the game with new this and that and whatever else. While I know the console version of the game struggles compared to the PC version due to hardware differences, it doesn't seem like the PS4 and Xbox One have the same struggles or limitations as the PS3 and 360 did with Destiny 1. After all, PS3 launched in 2006 and Xbox 360 a year before that. Destiny came out in 2014. Also, the majority of the player base would still be on PS4 and Xbox One, not the new consoles. So it would be kind of dumb to retire Destiny on PS4 and Xbox One unless the same conditions as Rise of Iron were met: low population and not enough power. I think it's much more likely that Bungie would make Destiny 2 and all expansions work on new generation consoles and have them running a lot better or more optimally than trying to make a Destiny 3 that would take full advantage of the new consoles while trying to just keep it going to some degree on PS4 and Xbox One while they would be phased out over the next couple of years. Then, whenever it gets to the point where PS4 and Xbox One are 10% or less of the user base, they would do what they did with Rise of Iron and eventually retire those platforms. Next would be purely from a content generation perspective. Bungie lost a lot of manpower when they split from Activision. They lost 2 other studios. While they're still a huge company, if the Year 5 seasonal content was too much for Bungie to handle, potentially with 2 other studios helping them, then I can't imagine trying to develop seasonal content on top of another entire game at the same time. I know people love to talk about the offerings we've gotten seasonal content-wise and all that, but from the outside looking in, I have no idea how long it takes to actually make content for this game. I just don't. I wish I did. I wish I knew how long stuff goes into development for, how long it takes to do stuff that no one might even think about, like localization for several countries. I can imagine that despite all the crap we might give them, Bungie is trying really hard to crank out what they can. This is not a Bungie is lazy situation like many on the internet love to claim. At least I don't believe it to be. I know I've spoken with far too many developers in the past to ever get the idea that laziness is a factor. No developer sets out to make a bad game. What all of that word vomit actually means is that there's a very large chance that Bungie simply does not have the manpower to actually be making Destiny 3 without large sacrifices. While we have seen some sacrifices, my guess is that those are related to the loss of the extra studios and not to Destiny 3 being in development. For Destiny 3 to release in September 2020, let's say they needed to have been working on it for the past, my guess, bare minimum 1.5 years. We'll be generous, let's call it 2.5. So 2.5 years is about when Warmind came out, May 2017. So Bungie would have needed to have made Forsaken an undetermined but non-zero amount of Year 5 seasonal content, Shadowkeep, and all Year 6 seasonal content, while also developing Destiny 3, a full-sized game at the same time. Even with the help before the split, I just don't see that as likely. Next is that I imagine that anything Bungie would want to put into Destiny 3 could probably just be put into Destiny 2 at this point. The only thing I can imagine Bungie wanting to revamp is how skill trees work, and that's even if they want to do that. You don't need a new game for a new class. You don't need a new game for new subclasses or subclass branches. You don't need a new game for new destinations, new story beats, or anything like that. Destiny 3 would need to innovate considerably or change directions considerably for it to be warranted being made at all, I think. Not to mention that people really like their stuff, gear, weapons, armor, so I can't imagine people would be happy with another complete wipe of all of their stuff. I see the rage on Reddit about Solstice armor months later. It would not be pretty. That just means that all of our stuff would have to come with us into Destiny 3. Eververse, titles, triumphs, gear, all of it. So why go through all of that work when we can just keep it in Destiny 2? If Destiny 3 was simply a purge of destinations replaced with new ones, again, I feel like they could just really do that in Destiny 2 if they wanted to. The core experience of the game is not going to change, and while Destiny 2 sort of felt like something that was needed from a technical standpoint, I don't know if Destiny 3 would require the same. The main reason I would want to see a Destiny 3 is mainly for a complete loot reset. I think we really need weapon retirement right now to make loot slightly more interesting again, but I know not everyone feels this way. There are a large amount of people who want to be able to use whatever guns they want from whatever era they got them from. This is also not me saying I would not like a Destiny 3 either, because I would absolutely be down for that. I'm just saying that right now, I'm not really keeping my hopes up. I'm sure there are other reasons that I did not address, but I think those are the main three. Again, Destiny 3 has not been mentioned at all. Like, literally nothing. We don't even know what's going to be happening in Season 10, much less September of this year. But those are my thoughts on what may not happen with Destiny 3. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.